Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today I am here with two good friends of mine. This is Al and KC. And we have something in common. We all own Chevy vans of varying ages, and we also all own ADCO windshield covers, which is what I'm holding in my hand. Al's van is over here. Al, what year is your Chevy?
It's 07.
You have an 07 Chevy Express.
Yeah.
And KC, yours is straight here behind us. And what year is yours?
A 2001.
And mine is a 2015, all the Chevy Express. Now, we're talking about heat and how to stay cool in the summer. And actually, Al, you're the one that turned me on to this because you were the first one that had a cover.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw you put on that windshield cover on there, I knew I had to have one.
Well, I'd seen these on Class C RVs.
Right.
And I figured, well, it's the same front end. And so I went to an RV place and I found one, and it wasn't very expensive, you know. And yeah, it served me well, you know. It's shade and privacy.
That's been at least 5 years,
Yeah.
hasn't it, that you've had it?
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly, but it's been, I think, at least that.
Yeah.
I think I've had mine for 3 or 4, and I learned about it from you. Now, you had an experience that made you really want to get your windshield cover. Before you got the windshield cover, you were doing what everyone did and used Reflectix.
Right. I had a big piece of Reflectix that was cut to fit inside the windshield, you know, under the visors, under the rear view mirror, to kind of block out some of the heat. And, you know, it's kind of what a lot of people do with, they'll fold out silvery things and all kind of stuff. But someone told me that what happens is heat builds up between the glass and the Reflectix. And it just keeps building up, and it can cause your windshield to crack.
And you, in fact, had a windshield crack.
Yeah. And it just kept getting worse and worse. So,
right. And you thought, and I remember you telling me at the time that when you took it in and got the windshield replaced, that the guy at the glass place thought it was because of the Reflectix.
Yeah, I think that was who told me. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't know that for a fact. I mean, this is all secondhand, and he was speculating when he said it, the guy at the glass place. But there is some reason to think that the heat could build up there and it could crack the glass. I mean, if it's 100 outside, and I bet it could easily be 120 or 130 between the windshield and your Reflectix.
Yeah. And it's better to stop the heat outside instead of inside.
Right. And that means that 100-degree heat is 120-degree heat, whatever it is actually inside the van.
Yeah.
And the idea that your Reflectix is going to hold it all up there just isn't valid.
No, it'll all leak around the edges and fill up your van.
You don't have a tight seal. The heat's coming around and getting it in the van. Yeah. So you decided the answer was to have your cover on the outside so the heat never got inside.
Yeah.
And one of the things that stood out to me with yours was light passes through.
Yeah, it's sort of translucent.
Yes.
So it's not like you're, you know, in a cave when that thing's on there.
Right, like Reflectix would be. It's literally very cave-like. And so yours was pretty cheap. You had 30, 40 bucks probably.
Yeah, I can't remember now, but it was in that range. It may have even been like 27 or something like that. But yeah. Yeah,
they're surprisingly cheap. This is the one I bought for my van. Now, one size fits all the Chevy Express. This is an ADCO, A-D-C-O brand. That's what Amazon sells. I'll have a link in the description. And KC has an ADCO and I have an ADCO. I also had one other friend that had an ADCO. They were all cut a little differently. Yours is cut very poorly.
Yeah, when I ordered it from Amazon, it said one size fits all. I remember that distinctly. But it's about 3 to 4 inches, a little bit short on the bottom of the windshield. So a little more heat gets in right along the bottom.
Right.
So I keep the interior.
They might trade around suppliers and things like that.
They might, because I had another friend with a 2007. So we have a representative here, a 2001, a 2007, and a 2015. And my other friend had a 2007. And she bought an ADCO, and it even fit a little differently than ours. They would work back and forth. Hers worked okay. Yours is actually, we held hers up against mine, and there's like 3 inches difference. So if you buy one of these like I'm suggesting, As soon as you get it, try it on. If it doesn't fit correctly, send it back to Amazon, because of course Amazon will just take it and exchange it, and keep trying until you get one that fits right. So and you have 30 days. So make sure you do that. Do an exchange until you got one that fit. Mine fits perfectly.
If you're near an RV supply kind of place, you can try it on right there and then bring it back in.
Right, that's a good point, because it's usually going to be in the same ballpark of price.
Yeah.
These are $34 at Amazon, so you think you may have paid less, but that was probably 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So even an RV store can have a good deal. So try those, try Amazon, and I know Amazon has them all. Now we're talking about Chevys, because the three of us have Chevys. They have them for Ford, and they have them for all the older Dodges. They also have them for the Sprinter. ADCO, let me give you the website for ADCO. It's rvcovers.com, and when you go to rvcovers.com, there will be a column on the left with buttons. One of them is windshield covers. Click on that. And all of them will be for Class C's, because that's who they're an RV place. But it's the exact same van. The nose is the nose. It doesn't matter. If it fits in a Class C of that year, it will fit your van of that year. And they'll have all the Fords. In fact, I happen to know the model number because I've looked at them enough. The model number for all the modern era from 1996 to current Chevy is 2409. So if you go to Amazon and you type in ADCO windshield cover 2409, this one will come up. And I've tried this one on my van, your van, and I haven't tried it on your van, but I'm sure it'll fit. And on my other friend's van with a 2007, and it fit them all really well. So this one is truly cut correctly. So yours still works and you still use it, but right now this is your van here, 2001 Chevy Express, and you're using these. You probably bought those at a dollar store.
Yeah, I got those at Walmart. I got the black ones because it said that they gave a little more UV protection, or kept more of the heat out. But I also have the larger type behind it, and then on top of that I use my cover. So right now there's a distinct difference between the amount of heat that's coming in. It's quite hot actually in the front of the van, and it was really noticeable to me this morning. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I don't have my canvas or my vinyl cover on, so it makes a huge difference. And I was able to stay very cool a couple weeks ago, and it was quite hot when we were in the Alabama hills, and the whole van stayed nice and cool with that.
It's just an amazing difference. I generally will. I have another video that you've probably already seen where I suggest you park north-south, and you put the back end to the sun, and then you cover the back end. But sometimes you can't, and so if you have to point your nose into the sun, due south, then the cover just makes all the difference. And you've had yours by far the longest. Do you leave it out in the rain?
There's been a couple of times it rained. Usually, though, there's wind with the rain.
Right.
And these do flap around in the rain. But then, I need to leave it on long enough to dry, then flip it over again and let it dry. There's kind of a fuzzy backing to the vinyl that holds moisture.
Right. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's one of the advantages to the ADCO, is it does not have that. I noticed that stood out to me when you put yours on. It doesn't have. It's just a kind of a canvas.
Yeah. So mine just, a fuzzier inside.
Yeah, it does. Almost. I doubt if it's cotton. It's probably polyester of some kind.
Yeah.
But at any rate, yours has held up really well. And
so far,
$27 or whatever it was, less than 30. I've held. These have gone up in the wind and the rain. I leave them out. Once we get set up, I leave them out. I just can't recommend this enough to you. Light comes through, so you get more light. The heat stays outside, never enters the van. They're easy to put on and off if you get one that doesn't fit. This one was right now. I just went and looked. This one is on Amazon right now is $34.99, and it's number 2409. Now the Ford one, a lot of you have Fords. The Ford one is 2407, and I believe that covers from 99 to current. But double check that. That's just my recollection. But the number is 2407. The Chevy is 2409. Now they have come out with a new model. It's the 2509. This exact same thing, except it has pull downs across the front and the two sides, and the two sides have mosquito netting. So it's got a flap, and you pull the flap down, and it has a mosquito net under it. And so you could have, it is also your mosquito netting. And there's one over the front that also pulls down so you can see out the front. It's got plastic underneath it, not netting, because you don't need it under your windshield.
That's one of the disadvantages. These cover the side windows, and so if you want ventilation, you've got to flip it up or do something to.
Right, that's what I do.
Air.
Just flip it up and add an extra mirror, an extra magnet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a disadvantage. It does, even then it covers some of the ventilation.
Yeah.
We'll show you that in a minute.
Oh, one thing I do is I hang a large piece of mosquito netting over my passenger side door or window, and I roll the window all the way down, and then I have the canvas covering the rest of it.
Right.
Except for that side.
Right. And so this, for what I always do is with the side that is no longer in the sun, as the sun makes its arc, I flip that side up so I have ventilation with mosquito netting underneath it, and the other side is covered because I don't want the heat coming in. So the ones with the cover are $10 more, and that model number is 2509 for the Chevy and 2509 for the Chevy, 2507 for the Ford. I don't know if they have them for the Dodge. They also make these for the Sprinter. All the Sprinters in Mercedes-Benz or Freightliner or whatever it is, Dodge, they have them all. They do not have them yet for the new Transits or ProMasters. And I tried to find one on Amazon. I couldn't find any of them for the Transit. They're
That's
just too new.
Considering that a lot of ProMasters are being used by the conversion companies.
They are, and also the Transits are
yeah.
coming out, starting to show up. Winnebago's putting them on their Navion instead of the Mercedes. So they'll come out. They just haven't come out yet. You'll just have to wait for them to come out. Okay, so we're going to put this on. We'll put mine on and demonstrate for you. So you see, it's really, really easy. We'll do two of us, just so it goes quick. But you do it alone all the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just no big deal. It's a little more awkward when you're alone, but it's no big deal. So KC will generously run the camera and zoom in and out while we're doing this, so you can see us putting it on. Okay, so we are going to do this with two of us just so it goes smoothly, but we could very easily do it. I mean, I've done it 100 times. I never give it a thought to do it alone. You'll just go up and over your mirrors. It's got a little flap that snaps it on. You got to open your door. You can only do this one at a time because it won't be long enough. Well, why don't you do yours first, Al, because this one makes it that's a little tougher. So Al has got his on, and you have to open the door a bit, and it has this little flap here that's sewn in, and this is going to be a cup over the door. That's going to hold it on, and you can't steal it now. You could rip it off, I guess, but you damage it. And then it just goes over, down, and then there's a magnet sewn in right here, and I'll just let it go. Oh, I'll shut the door. And you can kind of hear that. So there's a magnet here and the little cup here, and then pull these down, and this is just a Velcro strap that goes in like this, and now it's on. And they do flap around a little bit in the wind. Not terrible bad. And it's on. That was it. Now I could have
What I
done
do
that.
is I take a bunch of little magnets and stick them around the edges on the window frame to help keep things in.
Right, and I always carry extra magnets, and I do the same, because the more magnets you have, the less flapping and the less likely winds to get under it and blow it up. Yeah. But you can see it's just really simple, and for $35, that's the most comfort that you can add to your van is with one of these. That's what I would just generally recommend, that you get one of these. They have them for Ford, Chevy, and Dodges. They don't, and Sprinters. They don't have them yet for the newer Transits and ProMasters. They will come out. We just don't know when. So we're all happy, satisfied customers? You're glad you have one? I'm glad. It's well worth the weight and the size to carry them. So that's another video on how to stay cool. I think this is one of the most important ones. And there'll be more in the series, so stay tuned for the whole series. Thanks, Al. Thanks, KC. KC's running the camera. Wave it, wave so they can wave your hand there. She's there. And so thanks, folks, for watching. I hope you got something out of us. If you did, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you later.